Students often confuse three P words: purpose, perspective, and point of view. And this confusion is perpetuated when assessment questions and curriculum resources are interchanging these terms. So let's be sure to simply define each of the words so students can get them straight in their head. First, purpose. The author's purpose is why he wrote what he wrote. And there are three common purposes or reasons authors write, and they can be easily remembered with the acronym P.I.E. So why do authors write? They write to persuade, they write to inform, or they write to entertain. P.I.E. P.I.E. So purpose is why is the author writing. Now let's talk about point of view. That is, who is telling or sharing the details? Well, in informational text, that's easy. The author is the one telling or sharing the details. But point of view gets more tricky in literature. Although the author literally wrote the words, we have to determine which character is rolling them out. For example, in the true story of the Three Little Pigs, the author is John Sheska, but this book is written from the point of view of the wolf. Now, in that example, one character tells the entire story. There's one point of view. But a lot of chapter books have multiple points of view. Like in Wonder, there are like 8 different parts to this chapter book, and each part is being told by a different character. That's a different point of view. Augie tells part of the story. Jack tells part of the story. Summer and Via and several other characters. Students need to understand that purpose is why the author is writing, whereas point of view is who is telling or sharing the details. Who's telling the entire story or just this part of the story? Once students understand point of view in literature and they can tell you who is telling this part of the story, now it's time to bring in perspective. So how does the character feel in this part of the story? Perspective takes a lot of inferring. Students have to look at the character's actions, reactions, and even what they say in dialogue to pick up on the clues for how they're feeling in a certain situation, a scenario regarding the conflict or the problem. But perspective is relevant beyond just characters in literature. We also have to consider the author's perspective on a topic or an issue. Inferring the author's perspective in informational text is vital. We have to know not only why the author wrote something, his purpose, but we also have to know, and how does the author feel about this issue? Is he pro or con? Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Should we do this or should we do that? This is why when studying a topic or concept, we encourage teachers to bring in multiple texts on different perspectives so students can really practice this. For example, this series, Perspective Flip Books, include 2 different perspectives on the same issue. Is social media a good thing or not? Or regarding the issue of healthy school lunches, are they positive or negative? So that's perspective, point of view, and purpose. Let's be sure to clearly define. Purpose is why, point of view is who, and perspective is how they felt.